York. So when I was exposed to black people, even though I didn't grow up around it, I had this energy from my family of
Just
being
one,
cool.
Willie Waldman.
Hi, everybody. Willie Waldman from Western Indiana. My family farms 1835 Highway 6 goes across the country. We did the Underground Railroad. We marched the Antietam and freed all the slaves. So,
Let's go. So Willie is a musician's musician. He's played with everyone from Albert King to Snoop Dogg
Tupac,
to Tupac. So I'm asking him for a quick interview here. He's here with Banyan, Steve Perkins, and
well, they ask how I always connected with the brothers, right? You know, being in Indiana, it's like Amarillo, Memphis State, marching band scholarship. I'm down there on Beale Street with my
trumpet.
buddy, trumpet, and I'm with my buddies who dare me on acid to sit it with Albert King, Herman Green. So of course I jump up there and make a little.
Okay, so let's stop. Albert King, amazing. What was your first impression of him?
Well, I'm on Beale Street. We're walking. There's thick blues coming out of Fort Handy. Wow. And we were scared to go in at first. And there we are, just listening.
You like this man you were about to.
Yeah, just a white kid. I'm serious. Out of Chesterton, Indiana High School, marching band scholarship. And again, the best thing is I had the courage to do it. My friends challenged me, oh, you're out there with your trumpet, you know. And I finally got the guts to do it. Of course, I run up there and make an idiot out of myself. You know, blah, blah, blah. I think a few white kids. So they grab me up to the set and they go, all right, son, you got two choices. And ask whooping or taking lessons. So I took the lessons program. And the first lesson was he sat me down with Herbie Green, the sax player, taught me B.B. King, Rufus Thomas, Ivy Day. Herman, I did 1938. I jumped on Blind Lemon Jefferson's stage. And I made, and I jumped up on his stage and sat in and, did the same muscle move. Herman was Sonny Stitt somewhere back there. And the first one was, son, you always ask a man before you sit. You know what I mean? And you meet him. And on top of that, when you sit him, you just do two songs. You don't take over the whole set. You do two songs of discipline, which is very good etiquette. And we started there. So Herman Green, sax player, was in the horn department. I go to his house for lessons. Herman took lessons from John Coltrane, 51 to 53. And we started on major sevenths. And we do exercises, up to half steps, and over and over a little pattern, starting really slow, over and over and over and over again, these patterns. And then, they would basically say, so I have a hard time, so I could read music being a kid from Indiana. It's really hard for me to change. So it took me a couple of years to put this together, how to play by ear on trumpet, right? So I was, good something like, son, noodling up grammatically, any of us are going to do the setup in like
This is Willie playing in the background.
Right. But any song, right? And then once you figure out the key signature, it's too sharp, too flat. So everything I'm doing is memorizing pairs over and over again. So now I've got my key center. I know I'm in three flats. Now that could be three majors or three minors or both, right? C, E minor, E phrasing. But they're not all that college stuff that made it very difficult. So all this college stuff and what you're thinking about, very difficult. Find your key center and there's your safe note. And everything you hear me playing is studying that. So you start there. And then I safe note, picking a point with the drums, always. Now, in there, we can run slop all we want as long as we land. Bam. We're very good at that. And landing on that thing. Landing on our safe notes. So again, the 7, 9, 11, 13 was very, very hard for me. All right, son. We noodle up A, going down a step, a G forward, G over, a G, arpeggio is 7, 9, 11, 13 A. So that's staying my skill. I'd stay my skill. It's like, again, what's the 13th of that? Find out. I got to think hard to figure out. You know what I mean?
9, 11, 13.
You know what I mean? What's the 13th? They would give us those things. Oh, there for There's another one.
Study in
Yeah, I had a
college?
music scholarship. So yeah, music. I don't, no, Memphis State University.
From Memphis State.
Oh yeah, Memphis State University. And I'm in jazz classes, and I'm classically trained.
When you first knew that you had something about
I wanted to play trumpet even though I'm a farm kid. So I should be bluegrass kid. Don't ask me why. I wound up on trumpet on the farm, not you. But I just wanted to play trumpet. And Dad
Did you hear
took,
Miles or did you hear stuff?
I like
Did you
Doc
hear
Severinsen.
Spider-Bag?
I like Doc Severinsen and the Cuban guy.
Doc Severinsen.
And the Tijuana Brass.
You played Cuban stuff in LA.
Yeah.
Cuban stuff,
So Dad had the Tijuana Brass, not a lot of records. Yeah, I love that. And Funky Angione. And then I like the Doc Severinsen. Bob told me to see him. And I really like the Cuban stuff. It's just like that pretty trumpet. I did have the high notes, the screamers. Once again, I was like, man, the guy make a big deal out of them stupid high notes. You got pretty tough. Man, you got them all. You work that pretty stuff. You know what I mean? And then another one, don't try to be us, be yourself. And he was right. I couldn't sound like all these Lawrence guys. And he's like, they all sound like anyway. And they do if you think about it. You know,
Who sounded a little different?
no, they all sound like who? I'm talking like Wynn Marsalis and all the modern guys.
Right.
They all kind of sound like that. You know what I mean? I would never be able to sound like that. But that was a good lesson. And then we got into the half step. So, a step up or a half step down. First start with majors like they get A minor and F major 7, which is off the sus, to B flat major 7, which is what, flat 9. But simplifying it, right? Then definitely got into diminished. Ooh, diminished is my favorite. I had to write out the fingerings and take
What are you
me.
feeling with it? Why are you sitting there?
That's the outside move again. So we had inside outside. So I like
Explain
it.
that.
Well, the mode again, you can hear it here. The mode is inside. We all hear these things. So the music theory and all that's a vocabulary. It's like a language. It's like you telling me a cow is French, right? You all hear it, right? Everybody hears like a short note called staccato. But you know, da instead of da. Here I'm playing like a vocal. Instead of playing like a vocal. Da da da. Da 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 da. The band, we got rid of all the fingers. Because Barry Farrell kicked Perkins out the first time, you know what I mean? And I wanted to be the singer.
So how to find Perkins?
Interesting. So the Tupac murders go down. Well, let's start there. So after Albert King, we go to Memphis because some of our buddies get in trouble, And Dave and I interned at Sun Records. And at the time, all the kids were laughing at us because he was selling well and just telling the stories in the middle of the night, right? They don't know. Well, U2 came and did their little project. And you Jake Rattle Hum. And Dave got a credit, and I took Bono and the Edge on mushrooms to Osceola, Mississippi to a juke joint. And it was a nice newspaper article I could show you the.
So what were they like on the show?
They were great, man. He told me ago, and he said, when I sing, it's like an exorcism. Very spiritual. Yes, he did. And I loved that. And I took him down to see the brothers, and they didn't know who he was, which was great down there.
They didn't know who he
was. Oh, that's the same with Stevie met Albert. They didn't know who the hell he was. We think alike a little bit. See, it was kind of nice for Bono and them, because we go down to the juke joint, and it's just really broad. You know, to get down, it's refreshing. And they were big fans. I'm extended out in the Hollywood country, always treating Courtney Cox like a neighbor, like a normal person. They're dying for that. They're dying for that. You know what I mean? You don't want to be worshipped or this, and this. So we've always broken that up. So we put them down there.
So just to back up, so Albert hadn't heard of Stevie Ray.
No,
Yes, but you listened to Stevie Ray, and Albert heard it immediately. Didn't take long.
Well, he knew the guy was kick ass. I kept asking who is he? I can't explain. You know what I mean?
Right, and Stevie Ray was so honoring to those guys.
Well, he had read them at 9 years old and was his idol, right? And it took a while hanging out without getting into his red story. Finally, okay, son, how do you remember me, in Texas at 9 years old? And you get a lot of that stuff's going down at 2 in the morning, you know?
That's what I said.
Yeah, you know, 2 in the morning, you know what I mean? And then it settled in. You see what I mean? It settled in. I'm not. You can't see me in the documentary, but I'm there. You know, Dave and I went to Hollywood to make it short, working at Larrabee Studios under Casey Cohen, Michael Jackson, and all this. So I was a Prince Water, getting sandwiches. I was good at vacuuming, solder cores,
Nice.
made myself handy, right? So Snoop and them coming at 3 in the morning and scare everybody off. I took the money for the boss.
I'd be scared just by
Well,
being
because they come in a pack of 30, like Albert.
Right.
See, I was used to that. See, there was always an entourage. I mean, there was always an entourage. Like Terry the Stacks guy, Howard, the cousins, there's always this entourage there. But when they come in a pack of 20, that just freaks me out. You see what I mean? And being a pro, especially, I didn't have to like hip hop, and I did, So we get the money and stuff. We get this call. We want you guys to run that program. And
So, how did you go from like vacuuming stuff to playing?
Well, I get horn parts 2 in the morning after a week. Okay, coming up on 3 records. My partner Dave Aaron's the famous mixer,
Yes.
and I'm his partner, hanging out. So I always scheduled this stuff for me. I had funny nicknames, Goofy, Howard, April. Yeah, they, make this kid. So we get into these messes 3 in the morning. Where's your trumpet? Where's your trumpet, right? And I'd say, I had 15 minutes to deliver. And then I was smart. I would have them sing their be searching for a whole part. It'd usually be call answer.
So it wasn't a big jump for you from the blues guys to the rock.
No.
It's just another like you've been.
No, it's just another job. What impressed me with these guys was Tupac made up this whole famous story with paragraphs on the fly and doubled it, tripled it, perfect. Because in those days we doubled our vocals. So my horn parts always got the marching band now. Go to or 1, 2, 3, probably that up. In the studio we would double and triple it through the whole tour. We weren't sampling that horn part like nowadays. But we double and triple it. So then I would kick in what I call my classical stuff, same articulation, same
And they didn't really do that. You took them by surprise.
Well, they did it the whole way with the vocals. Oh. They did it in the whole way. Meaning if you double a vocal part, you got to do it the exact same way. The articulation, the phrasing. So even on the horn part, I would get it approved by Snoop in the control room, but at that point I would lock it down. So I played the exact same way, like classical. And then it was just not easy, And again, if I would have kids they swung a whole chucking, Because really in that world, I'm an offensive tackle. I'm these little simple parts, right? Little simple little bitty parts. So, which was really fun. I got to rip a couple of things and Snoop Dogg Silver Story, but it's just me and him, jazz. There's a Coolio branding with a can of corn halfway through the rip it out. I got to rip it out a couple. And generally I play it real safe, real smooth. And you don't want to do too much because if you do too much, it can kill you. This is my own stuff.
Yeah.
So when the Pop Brothers went down, they told me to have my own Chuck Mangione band. And there you go. And that goes back to my Albert King training of booking all these gigs. He said, nobody needs a trumpet player. Nobody needs a trumpet. Or you stuck to 2 songs you set. If you want freedom to blow, you book the gig, you book the band, and that's banging, and everything you're seeing here is me doing everything. Manager's going to get rid of you, kid. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? A manager in any of these, I would not have my freedom to blow. So Albert was right. If I want my freedom low, I have to be the boss. And I'm
Big
happy.
lesson, big lesson.
Big
Yeah.
lesson.
How much time does a horn player stand around? And
Well,
someone else
you
is
know,
doing
the other one is boring. It's marching band. I can get the Beyonce gig. First, it doesn't pay that much. It pays $150 a night. So no, oh yeah, so just go on and on about that. And then it's the same stupid party on the seventh and eighth song on the bench all night. You come up with do. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in big stadium. I'm not going to impress me. I'll play the mosquitoes up here. I play to myself. So we call it special forces. I had my freedom up here. Doing the banding, I had my freedom. Being the boss, putting all this stuff together. So we did the Death Roll. It was beautiful. Again, they made up all these songs. The improv thing everybody gets wrong. They just think you're up there moving. To do it right, when the big songs on the fly. And that's what we did at Death Roll. The Steely Dan guys on that did the same. They were like, we had a bunch of strangers show up at the session, and we'd write a number and get set. So that's to me is the real improv thing, is the writing songs, the creation energy of the Holy Spirit. That's what I'm really into. And we all feel that Holy Spirit creation energy, like painting or working when you're not thinking and you're just
zone.
Yeah, the zone, exactly. I'm a Gnostic, so I don't want to put it to words and tell you how to get there, but we all feel it. Everybody feels it, right? Um, my guys are worried about going into a cowboy bar the other night in Dayton, Wyoming. I'm not, because I know that energy will win over the Cowboys and everybody. And it did.
Yes.
$500 in the good bucket. Playing improv jazz. I didn't have to compromise. I didn't have, you know what I mean?
Well, it was the same at the Biggest Bird. The Cowboys right there. If the music's right, people feel it.
Everybody feels
It's a
it, right?
universal language.
Yes, it's a universal language. And again, they were very nice to me, the Dutch guys. I wanted to know that head, but I bring my foreign friends. How you doing? You need a macaroni and cheese. See, that very much impressed me.
Yeah.
And genuine. Tupac goes out of his way. Hi, Renee. That very much impressed me. The money thing was really smooth and easy. I call it Spinal Tap paradox. You would think they were the ones ripping us off all No, it's the dead hippie dudes that ripped us off all the time.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so funny.
You know what I mean? No, it wasn't those guys. You know what I mean? Or like we're in a sold out concert, you can't bring your buddies. No, all your buddies will get you. You interesting. But they're creating a song every 5 hours, dude, super impressive. Great. And once again, we kick back into our own training. If we don't care, we don't fake. We did like 75 films, and they picked the best of 10 out.
So would it ever get out of studio and bring it out?
It's a basketball game. One thing impressed me with Snoop is he started this little kids football. That's hilarious. He's got this group. He has little kids football, right? And he's funding this whole thing. And one of those 7-year-old kids. 15 of those kids have become pro.
What?
Yeah, 15. And I'm talking maybe a couple hundred kids. We had funded. This is back to 2006, 2005. My partner was Snoop's engineer until he passed away in 2015. But I still mess with Snoop after the murder. I still messed with him and did things. Like, we would build a studio for Snoop in Claremont. And again, he's got this little kid popping on his football team going on. And yeah, and it was so fun to see these little kids from the projects. And 15 of them have big fun.
So what did the Tupac murder do and the whole Biggie thing? What did that do to you?
Well, what is it to be murder? And they're all cop kids. And they're all police kids.
Oh,
That's it.
oh.
And worked the hot dog stand for the mafia up in Chicago. He was working with those homicide detectives. The women with penis and like he wanted to trouble us. Well, homicide detectives, blah, blah, blah. those are $1 million hits, man. Suge Knight was a pirate, man. Big guy was a pirate. I mean, I tell you straight up, there's no way a little gangbanger kid shoots Tupac on Vegas Boulevard and not shoot Suge Knight. Okay? Not. And it gets better. And 3 days afterwards, I'll start talking about it. We go to the offices to turn the receipts in because we're running the studio. You know, the movie company fucking cleared the place out, right? Cleared the place out. Because the real treasure was the 200 songs we had on Tupac. But, you know, it was John Gotti's lawyer, David Kenner, that was handling, like, you know, was on a $2 million rape charge. So, you know, he had to sign his life away to get out of jail. How's that?
Wow.
You
So
know?
what did that do to their vibe in the music scene? I mean,
It didn't really bother us because I kind of grew up around it. I don't know if it was magical. Actually, the whole vibe in the studio was magical. I mean, he got out of jail, where he would have been in jail forever. I don't know. It was super creative. The nice thing with somebody like Suge Knight, nobody was robbing us. See, when you have a general like that, it kept all the little other elements at bay. I mean, no kids were robbing us in the parking lot. Nobody was smoking the pool. We had a Chinese assistant girl. Oh boy, they messed with her. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They kept all the young bucks in check. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody was robbing nobody. You get what I mean?
Well,
And then wait, we got paid great. The only time people have gone for that is you can make ideas for handshake deals. Those are the guys you hear about getting all over town and it's smart enough. So once you get into lip service where you can say, I'm sorry, Mr. Knight, blah, 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 you were fine. They all got it because they had it coming to them. Again, you made the deal, you made the deal, you know?
So you're leaving in and out. I mean, you're in trucks, you're with these guys. The whole gangster Compton is leaving in and out.
Oh, yeah.
But you musicians, you guys kind of want to get up.
Well, that's kind of why I got back into jazz fusion again. That was a little intense, you know, the guy that actually writes the report. You see what I mean?
Right.
All those witnesses were picked off piece by piece. I was at the Biggie shooting. I was there. No cops showed up without laid out there.
What do you mean with that?
I went to the party. So it was a party for Tupac, and I got the invite at the museum, the car museum, right there, Wilshire and Fairfax, the grandfather lives. It's a big undercover party. He walks out, gets in his car,
My son goes,
and they shoot him right there on the street, man. They do. They shoot him right on the corner of Fairfax and Wilshire. Now, first,
right, that's crazy.
well, no, the brothers don't do a hit like that. But once again, I'm from that way.
Right.
The brothers do not do a public hit like that. They're going to catch you to go to his mom's house. They're going to catch you in the hood. They're not doing it like that. They're not. You know, and the next one, go away and you listen for an hour and a half.
You listen to your music in the
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the brothers don't do a hit like that. And the craziest thing, they walk out and just laying there in the corner. And there ain't no ambulance. There ain't no police for a good hour. I mean, good forever for anybody to show up.
So they sold that whole thing as a Biggie versus Tupac.
Of course they did.
That was bullshit.
Without bullshit. I'll start talking about it now. I was always from the Albert King group. You know what I mean? I see nothing. I don't know nothing. Well, we were always a little sick group. You know what I mean? A little sick group, you know? I'm talking about it a little now.
That's yours. I mean, I can put
Is
this
your,
out.
well, but
I
we
can
can
bet
get
this out
into it
for
now
you.
because other people are. And those policemen were all, there's TV shows on. The David Mack guy did an art truck robbery and got 8 years. Another guy that was working that stuff was state policeman. He got shot somewhere. You know, the Rampart guys. The Rampart guys, all the movies were the guys like they did a trouble hard too. You know what I mean? They're all over the TV. That Rampart division stuff. Good night. I mean, come on, the ultimate mafia movies. You did the thing with.
That is the ultimate.
It's the ultimate, you know. And he was the ultimate, he really was. The only weird thing was I would always argue with him, I have a valid reason to go to war. I mean, they go shoot up their girlfriend's mama's house on this $2 million record deal, go to jail, buy everybody commissary cookies like class reunion. These guys that go to jail like it's goddamn class reunion.
Nice.
And I would say, well, come on, man, you're on, 8. And another reason I left, come on, man, Suge, you got out of jail, you're worth 80 million. The feds pull us over, think we're running guns from Indiana. So we're like, dude, we got the FBI down the street. They think we're running guns. You're on probation. Come on. But, they go back into the street, man. I accept the consequences, blah, 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 blah. Meaning, I don't care if I go to jail, So there is another point where I'm backing out of this mess. You see what I mean? Because, come on, man,
Just want to play music.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm trying to play music and you standing up for some knucklehead disrespecting you with some major shootout crazy shit.
Go ahead. Yeah, I can cut all this.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, you there?
Yeah,
Logan's kids are walking over to your place right now.
that's cool. I cleaned up.
Okay.
Split that for me.
Oh, that's all fine.
Well,
My kids are cool.
that's
And
fine.
the two guys that the guys that you were listening to, so they're big fans.
Well, that's good.
So how did you meet Perkins? Let's get back to that.
Okay, so after all this crap, we had a house on the top of Laurel Canyon on Wonderland Avenue, right above the John Holmes. You put this back on, John Holmes murders, and we were throwing parties up there. So we have a party up there in the Highwood Hills, and we're doing a track, right? And we didn't know it was Perry Farrell at the time, but he comes to our party. He's like, who'd you sample on trumpet? Oh, like, fuck you, I played it, right? So I raced the part right away and nailed it again. And we're like, who are you? We didn't know it was Perry Farrell once again.
So you hadn't heard of him? You hadn't heard
We
of
didn't
James
know who it
Perkins?
was. It just this big party going on, We were just making track at a party, right? We would be, because again, at Death Row was always a party recording with Snoop and them. It wasn't like this nice, quiet, two guys in the studio thing. It was basically a party.
So it was a party with Snoop.
It's always a party in the studio.
These are my sons. This
Yeah,
is Jordan.
nice to meet you. It's always
This
a party.
is Willie Waldman.
How you doing?
He
Yeah.
produced and was playing guitar.
Oh, you
That's-
sound great, by the way, man. I want to use you, man. I do want to use you.
Yeah.
So he's now talking about.
Yo, you playing real good. You guys got a spare soda or beer for me or something? Or soda? So anyway, I'll tell you how we got to Perkins.
So he's playing
anyway,
with Jane's Addiction. He hadn't heard of these guys, and he's sort of
anyway. So 3 days later, his manager calls, and we're like, oh shit, that was Perry Farrell. He wants us to do the Song Yet to Be Sung record, and I'm the trumpeter on Porno. So I get in at the end of Porno for Pyros, those two songs.
We got tequila, we got milk.
Anyway,
So that's kind of weird because I've got really good tequila. For
give me a
you.
nice tequila and a shot.
Yeah, I think I've got the Adictivo here maybe, or just go high and see.
Well, you like this one, and if this should record, because this will explain Banyan. And it kind of goes back to classical music. So we go to do the Perry Farrell sessions, and I'm on 3 songs on his solo record, Song Yet to Be Sung. Perry was like an orchestra director, super nitpicky.
Okay, let's hold. So
Let's hold. Let's
what
get a
can we
drink.
get for you?
Just a shot, something well. Hey man, you do sound good on keys, and I want you, man.
Sure.
No, you sound really good.
Available to be used.
Well, good. That's the right answer. See, that's the right answer.
Oh, there you go. There's the Luna Azul. Do you want a shot glass right there? They're up.
Well, I was
that's
telling
up
him, like,
left.
all that Snoop Dogg stuff, see, I found all that from outer space, man. It wasn't like planning on any of that. So you kids remember that, like keyboardist Kirsten that won the 9 Grammys, it was Britney Spears to Kelly Clarkson to Adele. We never planned on doing that kind of shit.
We can just drink out of the
Yeah.
bottle.
mhm. But
So
I'm
come
just
sit
saying,
down,
like,
guys. Come to
in your adventures, don't be scared of something weird like that out of the box. You know what I mean?
So you're back at this party with Perry Farrell.
Yeah, and so we still have the song. We didn't release it, so we get hired to do his solo record. Boy, is he nitpicky. So
Yeah, I've
this
heard a
is
lot of
hard.
things
No,
about
no,
Prince.
this is hard, guys. Check it out. I read music, right? So one of my tricks with Pac and them sing me the horn part, and the brothers ain't that picky. But he gets super picky on us, man. And does that mean staccato the part? Does that mean legato the part? Does that mean change a note?
Yeah.
Man, you're trying to read this dude's mind. As orchestra guys, if you wrote it out and said I wanted more accented with the little
Right, all the
TP,
dots and
yeah,
marks
yeah,
and-
yeah. But he didn't know none of that. So really, really, really tricky. Make it more angry.
Right, so
Way to
it's
say,
just-
wait, hold on. This is to teach him about part. Ooh, make it more angry. Ooh. See, now the brothers are kind of loose. You see what I mean? We get a horn part. We double and triple all our parts. But like you on piano, if I had you come up, they'd like that Rhodes thing. The only thing they would do with you is maybe, can you give it a little different vibe? But they wouldn't be so super, super nitpicky. You
Right.
know what I mean? Super nitpicky. So he eliminates Perkins for a drum machine. You mean Perkins
What?
up in there? Yes, he does.
What?
Yes, he does.
Holy shit.
So I'm like, God damn, how about that? So I am. So my partner Dave is like, I got his number. He's like,
What's
no,
Dave's
wait.
full name?
Dave Aaron.
Dave Aaron, you've heard of him.
Yeah, my famous partner.
that's his
And I'm hanging with him
Okay.
and being my best man at my wedding and deadhead buddy from college.
Nice.
He was famous engineer. That's how I did the stuff. And hanging out. You know what I mean? Hanging out a week. It wasn't like scheduled. Nowadays, yes, but not in those days.
This is
Anyway.
Liz. This is the one who was singing on that song.
Oh, you sounded
She's
good.
from Memphis. He's from Memphis.
Oh, Memphis State University house.
Oh, so my dad and my mom went.
Yeah, I started Free World. You ever hear of Free World?
No.
Little band. Yeah, that's where I went. to school.
Cool.
Yeah, Memphis.
Anyway, he's telling Jane's addiction stories now. He finished with his Albert King and Stevie Ray stories.
Got to
And his
Snoop Dogg.
Tupac and Biggie Small. He was at Biggie Smalls where he was murdered at the party.
Rip.
Yeah, no cops show up. We're past all that now, thank God.
So go ahead. We're just
And cop
listening.
hits and all
No,
that.
sit
Make a
up.
sandwich.
No,
I'm
just
hungry.
So now we're into this part where he's super, super nitpicky. Oh my God. And so he
Like
eliminated
Chris and
Perkins for a drum machine. So Perkins already had Banyan kind of going, but it was in mothballs. And I'm like, dude, what the hell with a singer? No singer. We're all tired of nitpicky singers, getting all the money, blah, blah, blah. Let's do this improv. All improv. And we had the Mike Watt and the Nels Klein critter, but it was open. I brought other guys into it. I could bring you into it. We jammed the whole summer to get it going. Then we got the job to produce it, Dave and I. So we brought our recording gear down to Perkins, and we had Flea and Frusciante, and it was awesome. For me, getting out of Tupac stuff, that was awesome. I wanted to do metal, and we like this, getting rid of the singers. Even though I've been a lot richer if I would have messed with singers, I like the freedom of just blowing, you know what I mean, and being able to play. So, and Perkins with the metal thing, and I love the metal thing. So back to Albert King, there was no way I was going to get to do the metal thing without being the boss. How's that?
Right.
Being
No,
the
that's what
boss.
Albert told you.
Yeah, being the boss, now I can start messing with the metal thing. And the interesting thing is all the metal guys would want to play jazz, right? I'd be like, I want to play metal. Right? They would. They'd all want to play jazz. The whole pack of them, the John Five from the Maryland Man, the whole pack of them, right?
A lot
So
of them play
funny.
super technical too. So.
Oh my God, I met, Michael Schenker one time jamming up there in the Hollywood Hills. Huge classical music fan. How's that? You know what I mean? A lot of those guys.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
explain the English metal is classical chord changes. How's this? Instead of blues changes. So American is blues based. You get into the Ozzy Osbourne and all that, and it's classical based changes.
Yeah.
With the harmonic minor, which I dug, you know what I mean? Mr. Crawley, Phrygian with the,
Yeah.
what is it, the sharp 4 on it?
Yeah, that's good.
Right? The sharp 4 Phrygian. Now, with Albert King, we were taught that half step down to make it simple. You drop it a half step here, you drop it one up here.
Okay.
Those are the little subtle differences.
Yeah, I never learned
Either
it that way.
diminished or Lydian augmented. Like from your fifth, popping a half step up is augmented or minor 6. The down one, so we were always playing with those
Yeah.
around tonic and fifth.
Yeah, a lot of
You know,
those
half
flavors,
steps.
yeah.
Yes. That was, and again, like Bob Weir, the two notes together, your 4/5, you see what I mean? Your 1/2.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that stuff is, and they would make it simple. Like we just play around with this stuff and experiment with those little things, right? Instead of saying we're the Phrygian dominant with a sharp 5, blah blah. Or one of them I like. They call it Super Locrian Sharp 2 or whatever goddamn crazy name they had.
Yeah.
So, but did Perry Farrell have something he was trying to get? Did you respect?
Yeah,
what
he
was
did,
going
but he
for?
didn't know how to. He didn't know how to write it out like sheet music. So he had a hard time. He had a perfect vision, like a Mozart. I took it. Like he had a perfect vision. He just had a hard time communicating that super detail without sheet music. You know what I'm saying? So it was always a trick to read his mind. You see what I'm saying? Where the guys that are doing that kind of stuff usually have charts, right?
Yeah.
That simplifies that whole mess.
It's nice. It's a good
Yeah.
It's just communication,
Especially on the articulation and stuff.
Yeah.
Do they want your piano ding, 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 or do, 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 medium legato, especially that stuff. The tax. Do I slur the notes? Do, 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 do. Do I go do, 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 do? Those kind of intricacies, it's hard done. So we formed a band to mess with a singer and get out of the whole.
So you met Perkins after he was sort of replaced with a.
Well, I was there the same day they did it.
Oh.
So he invited me to his house to jam, and we would do what I called the 6-period jam. We'd go to his house noon to 2, and it was fun, man. I mean, I was like, who did I just jam with? Oh, Taylor Hawkins, and then another day was John Molo and Phil Lesh. So I was a deadhead. I dug that one, Ooh, I still use Molo. Tony Franklin. So a lot of the guys you see me playing with are all these guys that was coming through Perkins. Now, like even youngsters like you, a lot of guys want to play with us. If you come out and do a couple jams, that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta play it.
And a lot of that is you want to get to know somebody and play. Everybody these days is always pressuring me to play right now the first day. I never had that at Wu-Tang Clan. I had to hang out a week. You know what I mean? It's never like you walk in here and take over. You know what I'm saying? Drop everything you're doing. You know what I mean?
So he was telling me that he was doing like maintenance stuff in the studio.
Oh, yeah. Queen in the joint,
And then all of a sudden, like
Assistant
3 in
kid
the morning,
getting
a week later,
blunts.
it's like, hey, well, what do you do?
Where's your horn? You know what I mean? For real, I wasn't. I was helping Dave out and patch things, set up the mics. I was great at cleaning dishes. They always trusted me, and I was very good with money and things. So, I'd handle the business a lot because Albert's, the training.
Yeah.
Guys that get in trouble with what we called the cookie jar. The cookie jar would be the $1,000 we had in the can to get tapes and sodas and peanuts.
Other stuff.
I always had the receipts and always had them down to the penny and would turn them into the nice black ladies at the record office or whoever. Well, these other guys, would steal $80 here or this or that, go to get tapes and $200 short. And those are the guys that had problems with Suge Knight, of course. And you had one chance to say, sorry, Mr. Knight, blah, blah, blah. But then they'd always come with lip service, I call it. And that was a no-no for the Albert Kidney. You'd not come up with a bunch of excuses. That's the worst, man. Just cop to it quick. Yes, sir, I fumbled the football. And let it drop. Let them call you stupid son of a bitch and yell at you. And they do all that. Don't get all offended by that crap. Just drop it and go. You know what I mean? I had a kid recently we got hard on, and he's like, you never can talk to me that way again. I'm like, dude, if you're going to be like that, you're never going to make it in LA. You know what I mean? We don't need you, first off. You're not here. You're only here because your parents got you here. Terry got on him for playing the Endless 16th note solo and not letting anybody else play. You know what I mean?
But then you have Nels Klein.
He was weird. So here's a good one. I loved him because when I first saw him, he was the reverse harmonically of Stevie Ray Vaughan. He did the raised fifth. Okay. So he was into all this like leading and augmented, which I love. He was in this major altered thing, right? The major altered thing is a flat 9. The first step to Indian sounding Magic Carpet Jam.
Yes.
It's a raise the tonic a half step. Bam, right there is your instantaneous. But he had the raise fifth, right? I picked up on it right away.
Right.
Ooh,
Very
you know, and I
suspenseful,
called them an alien chords, you know, like really weird, alien chords. A lot of people didn't get him at first.
So that's how you ever heard Nels first, was doing that. And
He
then-
was in a coffee shop with the wisdom painter. Man, he wasn't even hitting a chord, man. He wasn't doing our standard, you know, America horse with no name chords. I'm just saying, man, he's doing this alien stuff. I swear to God, it was like, man, I'm on acid watching the spaceship take off. Nobody was getting it. You know, there's 5 people in this joint. It was out there. So I was like, oh,
And so
this
you went
is
and talked
cool.
to him afterwards?
Of course, you know, and we got this whole banyan thing going.
And what about the Oingo Boingo bass player?
Love him. I met him.
He's amazing.
I'm using him coming up. I met him through the Musicians Union doing the Batman Spider-Man movies. And I'd get on the 4 trumpet and the orchestra. Because I almost got in the Chicago Symphony. How I failed was on the sight reading of different key trumpets. Because they had these key of D trumpets with different fingerings.
Yeah.
And there's where I had to think a lot. You know, sight reading. Oh, I'm in C trumpets. So, you know, the C's fingered different.
Yeah.
So a lot of my stuff was on fingerings. And I could do it, but there again, I'm behind the game because I'm having to think so much
Right.
and transpose. And I made just enough mistakes that in the top 5 to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I failed. So anyway, I get a couple of these gigs, you know, in the orchestra in LA, and I picked up on him and I grabbed him, you know. And we got stuff coming up. My little Tony Austin, drummer from Kamasi,
Amazing
Washington.
drummer, Tony
so
Austin.
we were doing these recordings with my Memphis mentors, Calvin Newborn and Herman Green. And we had the Coltrane guys, Art Davis, and we're getting Billy Higgins. Well, Billy Higgins got sick, and Tony was the sub at 19, 2000. So Herman's like, oh, you got to take this kid on and put him in the hippie band stuff. So when Rat Dog fired Wasserman, I threw Tony Austin in.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and we did a ton through the Midwest, and nobody got him. And I took a lot of heat for it. Like, why didn't you got Perkins? Blah blah blah. Perkins. I had the kids back. The kid was badass. And I felt so bad that they weren't making it that whole pack, right? The Kamasi White pack. So here's a good one on those kids. 212, they're down at the piano bars. So me and Tommy Dita did Tupac go down to this piano bar. They got this place packed. And the asshole wouldn't even give them a free soda. They're like charging for sodas, right? So as old timers are mad. We're like, my God, you guys aren't getting, you know, $100 each, you know, or something, right, you know?
Let's go.
But I'm going to give them points. They kept going
Any,
to
any
you know,
advice for the, you heard their song, you listened, you loved the Avalanche.
Oh,
I wasn't sure.
wait, what was your name?
Willie. Well,
Willie Waldman.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
a hell of
play-
a name.
I'll play
Willie
you his
Waldman.
stuff, he's played with everybody.
That's
hey, you
right.
guys sounded great, by the way. So
Yeah.
Thanks.
we
Thank
can
you so
talk
much.
and
Thank you.
yeah, for real.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we just put it in.
No, you guys sounded great. You sound wonderful
Thank
too.
you.
Yes.
Thanks.
We're here to make music. That's,
Yeah.
that's all. That's what we're doing.
All right, well, you know, we'll talk later, but, you know, having
Yeah.
these guys come down to LA and,
Well, yeah. So
around.
Tony. So real quick with Tony,
Yeah, you're fine.
they did 2 years free at this piano bar, right? And that huge agent found him. So they blew up. And Tony started engineering with Dave back in 2001 and just won the Grammy for engineering. So we're so happy for him. And I ran a nice project with him last year, and I'll run one with you guys.
Sure.
I got a nice R&B girl coming, but there you go. I'd love to record you guys.
Yeah.
Or at least hook you up with Tony down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so they're
just-
looking for a drummer.
You let us know. You let us know when. I mean, we're looking for.
Oh, well, we can get that easy. I can hire him cheap and easy for a drummer on session. And you know what's good? I used it for a kid's project. He doesn't overplay.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in and did the right part.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
pretty
mean?
cool.
Which is good. You know what I mean? Seriously, he's into 23/4 and all this crazy stuff. But you know, for the job, he came in his nice kids band and played the right job. You know what I mean?
And Dua Lipa came in for a song.
Oh, that's awesome.
And did the same, she just served the song, it was amazing.
Well, see, we did a lot of stuff that never made it. So they always trust me to keep lip zip.
Sure.
None of this is on the internet. We do tons of stuff that never goes anywhere, which is fine.
You play music.
We got paid. We got your paid union. But you know, a lot of they still don't want a lot of that posted. You know, like we go work on something like that.
Yeah.
They're really still to this day, especially in those days, not into all this chatter out there. I mean, it's one thing us talking here, but you know what I mean, getting all over this internet. Oh my God, I'm over here. Here's this song that may or may not make it. It's unreleased. Those are kind of no-nos, just so you know. You know,
Yeah, well,
at
as
least
far
on
as-
that level, and just look at it like if you sing a part, you got paid. If they use it or not, it's really not up to you. So don't get hurt if they don't use it. A lot of the times, the ones you like never come out, and then the next thing you know, you're going to say, "Oh wow, that's me on the radio." You know, I'm just saying. So, you know, again, this whole social media where it's always got to be me, me, me. Look at me doing this and that. See, that's
Yeah.
not my world, man. You know.
That's nice. There's not a lot of places that are
I
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, we're fans of that.
Well, again, you still need to be careful that working with other things because we do a lot of like 5 versions. California Love Tupac. There's 5 versions of that song. I walked out on the 5th remix with the huge horn part. On the double album, there's just a little horn part in the middle of the tune, just a little bit. It was the J Flex remix, and we would get $5,000 to do remixes, where 90% of them never went anywhere. But still, we got $5,000 to do this remix.
Sure, not bad.
And then sometimes you'd have one pop up and then bam.
And plus you do movie stuff, and that's probably an
Yeah.
income stream too.
Yeah, well, I did a ton of that improv stuff, sold it to Courtney Cox and David Arquette. One of them is the intro to the Homeland TV show
Oh, wow.
that won the Emmys. But I sold a bulk of that stuff for $20,000. And, you know, he liked it because everybody on the union, so I could sign off. Everybody was paid. They liked the union thing because, you know, you didn't want a guy doing a keyboard part and coming back, oh, I wrote the song, I'm going to sue you, and blah, blah. You know what I mean? All that bullshit. And that happens. And those are the guys Suge Knight hung over railings and stuff. Normally it would go to court. But again, everybody's trying to avoid that crap. You know what I mean? For real. No.
Absolutely.
You know, they are.
I'm okay not going to court for the rest of my life.
Listen, I'll tell you that one. I did it on a Wasserman record. Unless it's something really big, it's not worth it because I went fighting for a couple points on the Wasserman record. Yeah, I won, but I spent $2,500 of lawyers, and then like they sold the label, and the long and short of it, the royalties were $500. You see what I mean? So if it's something really big, yes. The rest of it, no. It's not. It's just not, dude. It's the lawyers are
Yeah.
gonna wipe you out. You know.
Yeah.
And if you ever talk to those guys,
big
don't
money.
don't chatter.
Don't say
I had a lawyer
unnecessary
call
things.
me up, check it out, wanted me to get his kids tickets to the Olympics I'm playing with Klein and Banyan. And then he sends me a bill for the 23 minutes talking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And I walked back.
23
So
minutes.
keep that in mind. When you're talking to those guys, you need to keep it quick and to the point. Don't start talking about, oh, my dog's doing this. Oh, you have a dog like this. You know what I'm getting at? Don't get into any of that stuff. You know what I'm getting at? Oh, man, how you doing, man? Oh, your dog. You know, no. You know? But you do sound great on keys, man.
Thanks. Well, as far as like very specific stuff, we're like the opposite of that. We're not.
So I want to get some of your info or write it
Yeah.
down for me.
What's a
We'll
good,
get it before you go. And you
Yeah.
guys should come to the show on Saturday.
Okay, what's a good
Okay.
phone number?
323
Let's do. Let's see. Go 323
371
Right up here?
323
No, it's the
371
bid.
0500.
Saturday night.
0500.
See, I
I'm
sent you
old
something
school. I
on
like
Tom.
Wearing
talking.
an old bitch shirt.
I will remember this. Promise you.
Yeah.
I answer all weird numbers. Thank God I don't get much spam. I'll remember all this. So,
Yeah, let's text and see if it goes through.
yeah, just say Mr. Waldman or
Yeah.
I like Mr.
Let me know if that
Waldman.
looks
Mr. Waldman.
Like Mr. King. You know what I mean?
Mr. King, yeah.
It's Mr. King. and that's it.
If you want to,
I'm joking. I'll send you this. You know, just say, Mr. That does have to be Mr. Waldman these days. But you know, I met you with your dad because again, this is going to be, you know, your dad here.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to hear more of our stuff, we just had
I
a
would
single
love
drop this morning. So
Well, why don't
so
you-
Belly the Beast is up?
Spotify.
It's
Well,
on
why don't you
Spotify.
play it real quick? Why are you running
Okay.
so fast?
Sure.
No,
Slow
we're
your
good.
roll, man.
We're good.
Okay, so
I don't have
I
anything to
Slow
do.
your roll,
I already
man.
got off.
Hanging out's always a good thing. Trust me, the hanging out thing. Seriously,
let me see.
you know.
I'm hooked in here, Jordan.
Let's see what these guys have. And I'm sorry I'm calling you kids. I didn't have
No,
kids.
we are.
Yeah.
I'm married
No,
20
we're all-
years without kids. I don't know.
I'm gonna be kids until I'm planning on being kids till I'm 60.
I was the kid to 60. Trust me, I was
Yeah.
always the young kid in the band. It's just recently
Yeah.
that I'm
Once
the
I'm,
last guy standing. You know what I'm getting at? Like I was always a kid.
yeah. Once I'm 60, then I'll be a grown up. Until then,
And my next thing is music is genderless. It is. It's equal to all male, female, races, whatever. My take on music. Seriously,
Here it is.
it's genderless. You
So
know,
this
it's not
just-
like football or sports.
this
or
just
something,
dropped
you know
this
what I
morning.
mean? For real, it really is, man.
yeah.
So just know that, you know, yeah, you know, that's another nice thing about music, you know, it's not I don't know how to even put it in those words to stay out of there, but you know what I mean? It's nice, you know.
Yeah.
Ah, beautiful. All right, I think I've had enough interview.
Enough interview. for
Okay.
today.
Any last words?
Well, we all want to play music and magic and get along in this earth. You know, all human beings, all critters. Music crosses all boundaries. We all, you know, we all play together. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong to any of this stuff.
Willie Waldman, everybody.
You know, let's just have fun. You know what I mean? As long as you're having fun, you don't have to be a pro and do gigs. Playing by yourself in your house is fine. Being a hobby's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. No, there isn't. You know, you don't have to play in a stadium. As long as you're having fun doing your music, it's great, man. I mean, right? We'll work with anybody. Everybody says, well, you guys picky about who you're working with. No. DJ Quick just wants $1,000 a track. Snoop Dogg, 20 grand in a paper sack. We'll jam with everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Willie Waldman. All right, we're out.